Okay, let's dive into this. When you think about astronauts, your mind probably jumps to spacewalks, incredible views of Earth, and all that high-tech science. But believe it or not, one of the top questions NASA gets is a little more basic. And it's a fantastic question, right? It takes something we do every day without a second thought and puts it in a totally bizarre environment. Here on Earth, we have this silent partner helping us out 24/7 that we completely take for granted: gravity. But up there, well, things are different. And that's the absolute heart of the problem. Without gravity pulling everything down, waste collection becomes a massive engineering puzzle. And yeah, a potentially very messy one. You can't just flush with water. So what did engineers come up with?
Well, the solution wasn't to push waste away with water, but to pull it away with air. Engineers literally had to reinvent the toilet from scratch. They basically swapped out the force of gravity for the force of suction.
So, let me introduce you to the latest and greatest in space commodes, the Universal Waste Management System, or the UWMS. And get this, it's a $23 million piece of hardware. It's lighter, smaller, and way more hygienic than older models. And crucially, it was designed with tons of feedback from female astronauts to make sure it's a truly universal system that works better for everyone. The whole system is super clever, breaking the job into two parts. Think of it like a highly specialized vacuum cleaner. For liquids, there's a hose with a funnel that uses a gentle, constant airflow to pull everything away. Then for solids, an astronaut sits on this small seat, which uses a much more powerful, targeted suction to make sure everything is pulled into a collection canister.
Okay, so how would you actually use it? It's definitely not as simple as just walking in and sitting down. Using the restroom in 0G is a whole procedure. Let's walk through it.
First things first, you have to literally anchor yourself down with foot restraints and handholds so you don't just float away mid-business. Then you pick your tool, the hose for liquids or the seat for solids. Now, positioning is everything. You have to get a really good seal with the seat so the suction can do its job. And when you're all done with the solid waste part, it goes into a special bag that gets sealed up tight.
And this quote from NASA just says it all. You might look at that seat and think, ouch, that looks terrible. But it's engineered perfectly for its function in 0G. Creating that ideal body contact is what prevents any escapees. And that is definitely priority number one.
But, this $23 million high-tech throne didn't just appear out of nowhere. The road to get here was long and full of a lot of trial and error as engineers tried to figure out the best way to support something so basically human in such an alien environment.
I mean, way back in the Apollo days, astronauts were using these really basic, really uncomfortable collection bags and relief tubes. It was apparently so bad that some astronauts would change their diets to, avoid the situation. The Space Shuttle introduced the first real toilet, and that design has just been getting better and better, leading to the advanced system we have on the ISS today.
And you're going to love this. That early shuttle toilet had an opening that was only 4 inches wide. So to make sure astronauts could position themselves perfectly, NASA actually built a simulator with a video camera inside the bowl so they could practice their aim. I can only imagine the jokes that were flying around during that training session.
100. Okay, what could this number possibly mean when we're talking about space? It's not 100 orbits, it's not 100 days, nope. It's another great example of engineers learning about human biology as they go.
That's right. When they were prepping for Sally Ride's historic 7-day mission, a team of mostly male engineers, who were genuinely just trying to be prepared, suggested packing 100 tampons. It's a funny story now, but it shows something really important. Designing for space isn't just about rocket science. It's about understanding every single aspect of human life.
So, this brings us to the final and probably most logical question. After everything is collected, where in the world, or out of it, does it all go? It's not like you can call a plumber up there. The waste actually goes to two completely different places. All the urine that's collected is eventually just vented out into the vacuum of space. Solid waste, though, is treated very differently. It's sealed in bags, squashed down into canisters, and then loaded onto a cargo ship that harmlessly burns up when it re-enters Earth's atmosphere. And what if the fancy system breaks? Well, a NASA expert once said that would be a very upsetting day. But of course they have backups for their backups. There are special bags that can be used for everything, just in case, making sure that even if the high-tech plumbing fails, the mission keeps going.
So it might feel like we've been talking about toilets for a while now, but honestly, this piece of technology is about so much more than just waste. It's really about our future in space.
Because here's the thing.
If we're ever going to really live and work in space for months or even years at a time, we have to solve these fundamental human problems. A rock-solid, reliable life support system, which absolutely includes the toilet, is the foundation for any long-term missions to the Moon, Mars, or wherever we dream of going next.
It really gets you thinking, doesn't it? We managed to figure out how to solve this one problem in zero-G. But as we start seriously planning for Mars, what other simple, everyday things that we never even think about here on Earth are going to need their own brilliant, crazy, and complex engineering solution?